Today I'm going to be showing you the exact way that I cleanse and energize my crystals so that they have a vibration and energy that you can actually feel. We're going to be going through choosing, cleansing, drying, and energizing. And I want you to listen out for the astrology that I weave in, because this is where we take this ritual, this practice, to a really high level. This is Cosmos and Crystals with me, Kat. I'm here to help you shine your light as brightly as possible through deeper self-understanding that astrology can bring us, and by using the incredible tools that the universe has given us, like crystals. Okay, first let's choose the crystals that you're going to cleanse. You might cleanse all of them. Every couple of months I really like to just cleanse all of my crystals, or you might just choose a few crystals that you've been using on repeat. I've been working with crystals for so many years that I know, I can sense when my crystals are ready for a refresh. But if you're not sure, just really go with your gut. Just what do you feel, or what can you imagine your crystals are needing at the moment? One thing you might notice as you're trying to sense which crystals to choose is that some crystals might feel like they never really need a cleanse. And there are some crystals that absorb energy, but they don't retain, they don't store that energy. I especially notice this more with my rough crystals, the ones that haven't been polished, that haven't got that really smooth, shiny surface. It seems to be, for me, that the ones that are tumbled, it's called when they've got this very smooth surface, absorb and retain much more energy than the ones that are more jagged. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do for this practice is we're going to find out where the moon is. And so this is the part of astrology that I was talking about. You could skip this if you want to, but I know that you like a bit of astrology. So if you can bring this into your cleansing ritual, then it does really make a big difference. I like to use the new moon energy for cleansing and energizing my crystals, but you could of course use the full moon. The reason that I use the new moon energy is because the new moon really represents new beginnings. It's the start of a new cycle. The energy is fresh. And this is exactly what I want to charge my crystals with. Fresh energy so that they can help me on this new cycle, this new chapter that I'm beginning with them. Another thing that you can do if you've got an app, I'm sure you've got an astrology app, is you can check which sign the moon is in. And if you understand a little bit about the symbolism of that sign, you can actually call in, you can actually use intention, affirmations around the symbolism of that sign to really infuse your crystals with the energy of that sign as well. Again, you don't have to use the sign's energy. And of course, we only have new moons in each sign once a year. So if there's a particular sign that you're wanting to work with, you can obviously plan ahead. But if you're just doing this because your crystals need a refresh, then you can't decide which sign you're going to be working with. But understanding the sign is a nice little extra. What you will notice as we're going through these steps is that I am really using my intention. And this is perhaps the most important thing that you're going to be doing today, is using your intention and being very present with your crystals. I think this is something that most videos, most teachers skip, because there's a lot of quick ways that you can cleanse your crystals. I am going to go through a few really quick cleansing techniques at the end, but this is much more of a longer practice, a longer ritual, and this is going to really bring you into connection with your crystals so that you can understand them, what they need, and how they can help you on a much deeper level. But it requires your attention. Don't have your phone next to you unless you've got some nice relaxing music on. Make sure that you're free from distractions as you're working through these steps with me. Next, I'm going to show you the high-level way that I use water consciousness to cleanse my crystals. Are you ready? Yes, I'm using a kitchen sieve to cleanse my crystals. I don't live near fresh running water, a beautiful stream, an incredible waterfall. Wouldn't it be amazing to cleanse your crystals in a waterfall? I live in a big city, in a flat, on the 28th floor. So for me, I have to be practical. And using a kitchen sieve is very practical because it allows the water to run through while I'm still cleansing my crystals, and I can do it in the bathroom or in the kitchen sink. So again, it's really important here that you're using your intention, that you're being present, you've got an open heart as you're doing this, that you really are giving yourself a little bit of time. All I'm going to do is put some crystals into the sieve. I'm probably going to put about 10 crystals, and I'm going to turn the tap on and start the water running into the sieve through and running out of the bottom. And as I'm doing this, I'm moving the crystals around. You can hum, you could say a mantra, you might have affirmations, Often I like to just say thank you. Thank you for all the support you've given me. Thank you for everything we've been through together this past cycle. I'm just going to go with my feelings. If you've ever heard of the work of Veda Austin, she's done a lot of studies on the consciousness of water and how water has an intelligence that we can actually connect with and that we can also infuse with our own intention. And so yes, it's true that water that comes from a natural source, that's in a natural environment, has a higher vibration. If you can get to those places, then do that, fantastic. But if you can't, then we can also infuse the water that's coming out of our taps, that's coming out of our shower. I've talked about this in another video. I'll see if I can link that, about connecting with the water that's washing you. So we're going to really imagine that the water is cleansing the crystals, allowing them to release any energy that they don't need, so that they're ready to take on the new energy that we're going to be infusing them with. You can do this for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to start to place them on a tray just next to the sink on some tissue or a little towel so that they're ready for the drying step. The next step is we're going to be drying the crystals under the light of the sun and the moon. Now, some crystals really resonate more with sun energy and others resonate more with moon energy. You could look into that. You could decide if you want to put some out in the sunlight and some out in the moonlight. I find that a bit complicated, so I'm just going to put them all out under both the sun and the moonlight. This is going to take a couple of days. Go with your feelings. Again, if you feel like they've had a really rough few months, you might want to leave them out a bit longer. If you feel like they've already been energized, like the sun has been very bright, and you get the sense that they've already absorbed all that they need, you can take them in earlier. As I leave my tray out in the air, I'm going to just check in every day just to see how they're doing. I might just roll my hand around the crystals. Just notice how they're doing. Say hello to your crystals. Again, you're just giving them some time, giving them your attention and your intention. Say thank you. And also show some love to those crystals that you perhaps don't use so much, that are still giving you their energy, giving you support, even if they're sitting on a shelf the whole time. So for this next stage, we're going to be energizing the crystals. And for this stage, you need a little bit more time, probably about 10 minutes, to really connect with and energize your crystals. You're going to sit with them in a quiet space without distractions, without your phone, again, unless, of course, you want to put on some nice music. That would be quite nice. And I really want you to freestyle here. Talk to your crystals, move them around, play with your crystals. You can pick them up, drop them down, put them into different formations, using your intention here again. I hope I'm planting this seed for you that you can really see how important it is for you to really go with your feelings. You can even add Reiki. If you're familiar with using Reiki, you could add Reiki energy to your crystals at this point. And I'm going to go through a little list of affirmations that you could use. You don't have to use these. You could make up your own, and you could just choose one of these if one of them really resonates with you and you'd like to include that while you're energizing and moving your crystals around. Thank you for supporting me in my work as I shine my light. Thank you for the magical insights you bring me. I am open to abundance and joy. I am guided into situations that are for my highest good. I see clearly what I no longer need. I hear the messages from my guides. I am ready to change. Peace is my experience. So remember to use your affirmations in first person, in present tense. It makes them more powerful. And while we're playing with our crystals and infusing them with our heart's energy, with our wisdom, we are leaning into the energies of Jupiter, the planet of awe, the planet of wisdom, the planet of abundance, and the planet Saturn, the planet of boundaries, creating a structure, creating a ritual. And so it's nice to remember the energy of these two planets and how you are choosing to be disciplined about this process so that we can infuse fully the energy of the gods, the energy of the universe, this vibration of Jupiter into your crystals. I hope you can see that. You can even imagine the days and weeks ahead. What fun things might happen? What would you like to happen? Take it all lightly and trust that your crystals are ready to start this new cycle. They can guide you as you move through the world. And there is a way that we can dedicate specific crystals for a specific mission. But if that sounds like something interesting you'd like me to talk more about, I can make another video specifically on dedicating your crystals. But for today, we're just energizing the crystals in a more general way. Finally, you're going to place your crystals back in their place, in their home, wherever that is in your house. I have a place on a cabinet, and whenever I'm cleansing my crystals, I like to give that cabinet a really good clean, just so I'm really refreshing the energy of the whole space as well. I like to clean my little pictures. I've got pictures of my dear grandparents who've passed away. I like to clean the cloth where I put the crystals so that everything's nice and fresh. It's got a nice fresh energy, which is what you're really looking for with this practice. And then I'm going to place the crystals however you want. I tend to change it up. You know, every time I cleanse them, sometimes I'll put them in clusters of similar colors. Sometimes I'll put them in groups of similar forms. And sometimes I'll just put them really randomly on the cloth, on the scarf that I have. I like to use bright colored scarves, but you can use anything you want. So I really hope that you can feel the energy that you've charged your crystals with, that you can sense that connection that you've built up. I hope you'll save this video and just follow along next time you're cleansing your crystals so that you can really tune in to the crystal's vibration and charge them optimally, energetically, so they can support you in your day-to-day life. Okay, I promised to give you a couple of quick ways that you can cleanse your crystals. These are especially useful if you know that your crystals do not react well to water, or if you haven't got time, or maybe you've just had a really heavy day and you know that your crystals need a bit of a boost, need a refresh. The first technique is using salt. Here I'm just using standard rock salt. You can probably use any salt, but I quite like rock salt. I feel like it's more natural. And this rock salt I'm not going to use for anything else. I'm not going to go away and cook with it, although that might be quite exciting to see what happens if you cook with the salt that you've used to cleanse your crystals. But I have this plate specifically for cleansing my crystals. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to place the crystals. This is especially good for those rough crystals that we talked about. I'm going to just place them on the salt. And I'm going to leave them for a couple of days. You don't need to cover them with salt. I think that's a bit of a myth that goes round. Just placing them on the salt is going to energize them. I leave them maybe for a couple of days and then they're good to go. Again, this isn't as effective as the ritual that we've been talking about today, but it's still a nice way to refresh them. The second technique I'm going to show you, I'm sure that you've seen before as well. I'm going to be using smoke. Here I'm using sage, but you could use incense, you could use Palo Santo, anything that you like to use regularly to cleanse your spaces. And I'm just going to hold the crystal in the smoke. And again, I'm using my intention. I'm asking the smoke to cleanse the crystal, to remove any of the negative energy that it's picked up, to really infuse it with the magical and powerful energy of the smoke. So you can see again that we're using the intention, and this is so important with whatever ritual you're using. And this is great, especially for these kind of crystals that I know do not work well in water. And you can do it for a couple of minutes. It's smoky. Again, a nice way to energize your crystals, not as powerful as the practice that we've been talking about today, but still good if you just want to give your crystals a quick refresh. Let me know how it is for you. Let me know if you try this ritual and if you notice the difference. If you feel more connected to your crystals, I'd love to hear about it. I hope you've enjoyed today's session, and I have a special gift for you that I think you're going to really enjoy. It's my newest meditation. It's called Total Calm. I'm going to be taking you on a journey to a rose quartz cavern. And if you are a crystal lover, I think you're going to really enjoy it. And you can find that on the link below. Thank you for watching today.